Ever wondered why we feel the pain of losing $100 more than the joy of gaining the same amount? Or why do we make financial choices just because others do, ignoring our own logic? Or in general, why do we often act against our better judgment, especially when it comes to money, even when we think we're being rational? Behavioral finance dives exactly into this mystery, blending psychology with economics to explain why our financial decisions often defy logic. Before we start defining what behavioral finance is and how it came into existence, we need to understand how economists viewed people's decision-making before behavioral finance was created, with the lens of the efficient market hypothesis. The efficient market hypothesis is the idea that financial markets are highly efficient in reflecting all available information. Eugene Farmer, an economist, first introduced this idea in the 1960s. He argued that because everyone has access to the same information, any new data is quickly factored into stock prices. Imagine some negative news getting released about the future earnings of Tesla. According to the efficient market hypothesis, EMH, investors will quickly react by selling their Tesla stocks, causing the price to drop. EMH is based on three key assumptions about economic agents, who are essentially humans. First, they have unlimited cognitive abilities, meaning they can process all available market information rationally. Second, they have clear preferences, are aware of them, and always act in their self-interest. Third, they can learn from their mistakes and adjust their decisions based on new information. They called these economic agents Homo economicus. For decades, many economists believed the efficient market hypothesis to be true, and some still do. However, numerous contradictions and anomalies in the market made accepting this hypothesis difficult. For instance, the size anomaly showed that small companies' stocks often outperform large ones on average, challenging the notion of market efficiency. In the late 1900s, the rise of behaviorism in psychology, with the works of brilliant minds like Freud, emphasized the role of unconscious decision-making. This shift in understanding led two psychologists, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, to begin addressing these market anomalies using behavioral theories. Their work marked the birth of behavioral finance, which replaces Homo economicus with normal human beings. The foundation of behavioral finance is based on the fact that humans use two different systems of thinking when it comes to decision-making. The first system is automatic, effortless, largely unconscious, and mostly based on heuristics, which are simple rules of thumb. The second system is conscious, effortful, logical, and slow. Two important points arise from the interaction of these systems. First, because the second system is time and energy consuming, 95% of our decision-making is based on the unconscious system that relies on heuristics. Second, the unconscious thinking system evolved to help our ancestors survive in their environment, but it can lead to predictable and systematic failures in the complexities of the modern world. Remember our initial question? Why do we often act against our better judgment, especially when it comes to money? Now we can take a look at what these heuristics are that we rely 95% of our decisions on. Loss aversion is a cognitive bias that describes why the pain of losing feels twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining. Simply put, losing $20 hurts more than finding $20 feels good. Loss aversion is deeply rooted in our brains. The part of our brain activated when we encounter fear, causing anxiety to detect danger, is also activated when we experience loss. This explains why our gut reaction to danger, like seeing a spider or snake, is so similar to our reaction to losing money or possessions. Other factors also influence loss aversion. A study from the London School of Economics found that wealthier individuals are less prone to loss aversion than those with lower incomes. Culture has a role in this equation as well. A study across 53 countries found that people from Eastern European countries tend to be the most loss-averse, while people from African countries are the least. One reason could be the difference between collectivist and individualist cultures. In collectivist cultures, people may be less loss-averse because they can rely on their friends, family, and community if they make a poor decision. This fear of loss can prevent us from taking even well-calculated risks that have potential worthwhile returns. The anchoring bias is a cognitive bias that causes us to rely heavily on the first piece of information we receive about a topic. For example, when shopping, you might see a $100 item with a $25 discount and perceive it as a better deal than the same item priced at $75. We've all likely fallen for this mental trap at some point. In a 1974 study, Kahneman and Tversky asked university students to estimate the product of two sequences of numbers. Interestingly, the median answer for Group A was 2,512, while Group B's was 512. This suggests that the students' answers were influenced by the first numbers they saw, leading to higher estimates in the descending sequence. Research also shows that factors like mood can influence anchoring bias. For instance, people in a sad mood are more susceptible to anchoring than those in a good mood. To combat anchoring bias, one effective strategy is to challenge the initial anchor. The representativeness heuristic is a mental shortcut where people judge the probability or frequency of an event by how much it resembles a typical case or stereotype. Kahneman and Tversky illustrated this bias with the Steve problem. Imagine Steve. His friends describe him as very shy and withdrawn, invariably helpful, but with little interest in people or reality. Based on this description, do you think Steve is more likely to be a librarian or a farmer? Most of us intuitively think Steve must be a librarian. However, there is no evidence that directly points to Steve's career. This bias is actually extremely helpful for conserving mental energy and is crucial for quickly identifying and interpreting new information. However, this shortcut can lead to mistakes. We might overestimate how well something fits a category and make decisions based solely on this. For example, investing in a company just because it resembles a past success story without checking its actual financial health. With everything we've learned in this video, we can try answering our original question. Why do we often make irrational financial decisions? Financial decisions are not just about numbers. Each number is tied to individuals influenced by psychological biases and emotions rather than pure logic. This doesn't suggest that the evolved ways of thinking, or heuristics, are necessarily worse than probability-based decisions. In uncertain situations, heuristics can simplify processes and lead to robust decisions. A firefighter saving someone from a burning building relies on gut feeling, not probability estimates. So we can conclude that heuristics are double-edged swords. If being aware of the representativeness bias makes you less likely to invest in an AI company just because it is in the tech industry, you'll probably be better off. Yet overconfidence is a trait of many successful leaders. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.